Welcome, everybody, to another episode of What's Next for Women podcast. You know what we do every Wednesday? We bring on some powerhouse women, and I have another amazing co-host. I'm so thankful that she's able to join us. As you know, you may not know, it is Win Wednesday. What's your win for the week? And so I'm getting a lot on my phone, so you'll hear my phone ding in. And so I'm going to answer the question. So first question was, someone had asked me, well, what is or how did the podcast started? And so I want everyone to know that the reason the podcast came about was, or how it came about was, we are all struggling to go after our what's next. But the reason why we're struggling, and it has been said and been shown, is because we are faced with the what ifs and I can'ts. So, and I was one of those people. See, I was sitting at a corporate desk and I'm still there, but this particular day, it really hit me hard where I'm like, this is it. I am working for somebody and I'm making them money off of my skills and my knowledge, but I have nothing else. Is that you? Are you sitting somewhere where you want to work on your what's next, but you just don't know how to get there? Or are you wanting to work on your what's next, but you're needing the support? Or better yet, you want to work on your what's next, but you don't know what your what's next was. That's me. All of those was me, and many more of the questions can describe me. So what I did was I started asking other women, what is their what's next? Some of them said, I haven't even thought that far. And I even posed to those same group of women, if I removed all obstacles, what is your what's next? They still couldn't. Maybe a few can answer, but not as many as I would thought. So I knew then that was my purpose, my calling, and my passion was to go out here and to empower women to go after their what's next, whatever it may be. Maybe you want to work up the corporate ladder, or maybe you want a side hustle, but you just don't know what to do or how to do it. Or better yet, you have a side hustle, you want to move it over into your business, but you don't know how to make it to fit official. Well, that is what we're here for. Not only do I have the experience and knowledge, I have thousands of women or co-hosts that does that. And so I bring them on to empower you, to help you get you to your what's next. So if you have any questions, drop them in the feed as we start out the show. And it's Win Wednesday. And also my phone is ringing. Well, what's a Win Wednesday? Well, Win Wednesday is, what is your win for this week? A win is a goal that you have set. Now, have you met the goal? It's still a win because you recognize you have a goal. Or you want to set a goal, but you don't even know where to start. Well, at least you're thinking about it. So that's a win too. If you need help on any of those areas, drop it in the feed. We will definitely reach out and help you because it's all about empowering you to go after your what's next. And then lastly, today's show is all about, and you see it you can see it over here. Look. You can see it over here. Tonight's show is it is sponsored by Vision Made magazine. It is a quarterly magazine that is empowerment, such as the show, and helps women to go after their what's next and their what's next by conquering the what ifs and I can'ts. In the magazine, there's articles, there's tips, there's actually even recipes. We had a cupcake recipe last quarter. Can't wait to see what's in this quarter. I can't wait to show you. As well as we love vision boards, and we believe vision boards can help you move you to your what's next in a more powerful as well as a most motivating way. So if you're interested in getting a copy of Vision Made magazine, drop it in the feed and I definitely will be connected to you. So today's amazing co-host, her name is Meghan Holden. And so I'm going to bring her on. Hello, Miss Meghan.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting.
Yes, thank you for having us. So tell everybody a little bit about, I read your bio, man, girl. So I praise you.
Well, just going day by day. But thank you.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about you.
Well, let's see. I was, in my bio a little bit. I was raised in a military household. My dad was in the Navy. So thank you to all veterans, current, serving, past. Really thank you for your service. For our country and for everybody that has benefited from your service. So, but growing up in the military, he was a physician, so we traveled a lot. And we moved to different places. So I got to experience different cultures within the US and overseas. And I kind of took that, to heart as an adult as well. So I continued to move around a lot.
I'm so proud. I'm so envious of you going around the world and trying, looking at other cultures. That is great. I'm too a product of a military father. My father was in the Marines, so I totally get the traveling and meeting the different cultures and connecting to. So that part I truly miss. I do miss that lifestyle. Yeah,
especially now with all the travel restrictions and stuff. So.
It's so true. So true. So with that being said, so let's jump in. So are you currently working in the corporate world? I know, but they don't.
Yes. I am currently working in the corporate world as well as, many side hustles like you were talking about earlier. So the day doesn't end at 5 or 6 o'clock. No. It doesn't start at 8 a.m. No. I give myself the self-care at the beginning. I call it my me mornings.
Yes.
And then I'll work on my other businesses, my other passions then, and then also afterwards.
So do you feel that the corporate world has prepared you for your side hustles? And if so, how?
They have definitely been learning experiences. I'll say that much. And yes, it's you pick up different aspects of like how you want or don't want your business to be ran.
So true. So what did you learn not to do in your business?
Make decisions on emotions.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, I know I've been emotional like any other person, but it's just like a lot of that is just you have to sit back and acknowledge the emotion, the feeling, see what it was about the trigger for it, but being able to respond or act or in a responsible manner that doesn't cause more harm, and not necessarily reacting.
I so agree with you. I know, like you said, a lot of sending the big corporations or even the small corporations, you see a lot of people doing that knee jerk kicking reaction. And you're like, wow, could we not have done this a little better? I agree with you. And I too am still in the corporate world, and my corporate job has taught me to be patient, be grateful for what I have, but also know what I can do, and I can do more. So it has taught me that. And then also the skills that I do use in the business. I learned that from the corporate world on, okay, what can I do a little better to bring it better into my business so I can benefit as their benefit from you. Have you experienced that? And if so, what's some of the what have you taken away from the organization that helped you build your business?
Oh, well, I would say a lot of it, obviously it's a financial stability. Let me rephrase that. Stability in the fact that you have that paycheck coming in, but you have to understand at some point you cannot always rely on that, especially if you're an entrepreneur. But having that to kind of fall back on for a little while until you get things stabilized to move forward, that has been a real help. But obviously all the different skills based, I've had a slew of different employments and contracts, that kind of thing. But I really think that I was born to be an entrepreneur, just doing the stuff that I did when I was little. And then, but having that ingrained in me, like you have to go to corporate, you have to go to school, you have to get this job, And then my grandfather, he passed last year, but he had worked for the electric company for 40 plus years. And when he said that, it made me disgusted. Working for something that's not your passion for 40 something years, but he was totally proud of it. And I'm, thankful that he was proud of it.
Right.
It's not everybody's cup of tea. So
You're right. I so agree with you. Knowing that, because actually someone did say that to me. They were like, I can't believe you're out here at your age going after your passion or your purpose. Why stay in corporate? And I had to ask them, why stay in corporate? I just asked them the same question. Why would you want to? And if that's for you, that's okay. But know that it's
indeed,
not for everybody, and honestly, there's been no regrets on this side of what I'm doing, and even at this age, no regrets at all. And I want everyone to understand the reason why I asked that, and I'm glad you talked about it, is because a lot of people are sitting at that desk and saying, "Well, I'm doing the norm,"
yeah.
and knowing that being that out of the box person, it's okay. It's okay, and that you don't have to settle for that now. You can go out and get what you want.
I mean, and like you were saying, if the corporate is what they want and they feel comfortable there and they can succeed, you can succeed in corporate as well. I mean, you can rise the
Absolutely.
ladder and, always take it as a learning lesson. This was a lesson for myself, is to always take each one of those as a learning lesson, whether it be good, bad, ugly, whatever, it's still a lesson, and just take the best of it and do your best, because it doesn't matter what everybody else does. It matters what you do.
Absolutely. So we have, say for instance, we have our listeners and followers that are sitting at the corporate desk and they're like, okay, I hear you, but where do I start at? What would your piece of advice for them be?
Oh, so I think the easiest way to say that is to just start. I got introduced to The Secret a couple years ago.
Mm,
The power of attraction.
yes.
And something that was mentioned to me, that was mentioned in that program, was to take the first step. It's like driving a car with the headlights on. You
Hmm.
don't, and you can only see 200 feet ahead of you. But when you go to the next step or the next foot, then you see the other foot. So you know where to go. But you
Absolutely.
won't know if that's a parked car, you know? So you
Yeah.
have to get on the road and you have to get going. And making a decision to move forward, that's the first step. And then making a decision to do something, it may be in the wrong direction, but it's in a direction, and it will show
Absolutely.
you that you're in the wrong direction so you can adjust.
It does do that, doesn't it? And you're like, oh,
Yes.
okay. You're right. You're right. Okay, I learned this, but let me divvy off the road. So say
Learn
for
from
instance,
other people's mistakes.
exactly. So when you learn from the other people's mistakes, how did it make you feel though? Did you face the fears, the fear? And if you did face fear, how did it make you feel?
You have to face the fear. It sucks.
Yes.
It definitely sucks. But the reward is so much more. But you won't know the reward until you face the suck.
Yeah, that's true. Um,
Accept it and embrace it, hug it, whatever.
so how do you face fear? How do you face fear yourself?
Uh, Sometimes it depends on the trigger. It depends on the fear. Some things are a little bit more deep rooted, and I just finished. We were talking, or I mentioned in the bio that I just finished the 4 agreements, and it talks about that judgment and that victim being like a parasite, and it has so many heads. So
Hmm.
you take on the heads that are less triggering to you, so that you can gain that power and that confidence to continue to knock out the other heads. So just starting with something that may not bother you so much, but it's still like irking you, um, the little fears, so that you can tackle the bigger fears later on, and they will come.
Yes, they will. And I'm glad you said that because I want women, and the only reason I always ask all of my co-hosts, how do they handle fear? Because we all face it, but it's also how do you handle it, or what do you do? Do you run from it? Do you learn from it? Do you okay, let it stop you in your tracks, and then if you've allowed it to stop you in your tracks, how long are you going to sit to allow it to stop you?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, that's happened for sure.
oh, yeah, for me, it has. I can only speak for me. I know when before I start, now I deal with it differently. But in the past, I allowed it to stop me. And I allowed it to stop me for like 3 years, 3 or 4 years before I'm like, you know what? I got to do this. I had that poke and I had that talk in my ear. You always hear about that. And I had to do it. And I'm not, and it, you're right. We fall, we scrape our knee, but then you get up and you're like, okay, well, what did I learn from this? And I know that didn't work. Let's work on something else. But fear never scares. It didn't scare me enough now to know, okay, it's nothing wrong. If people sit on we always have those that are sitting on the fence watching us, and that's good. Thank you. And if I fail, thank you still very much, because now you are my motivator and my inspiration. So I'm glad you talk about how you handle fear. And I'm starting to ask more of our co-hosts, because I want our audience to know we all face fear. It's just how you handle it. Do you sit back or do you face it head on? And if you faced it head on, look where you're at now. So that is so true. With that being said, as we have faced the fear, but we also faced, as well as the challenges and fears and challenges, we also have that support system. And I think it's so important. So what about you? What is your support system, and how are your cheerleaders, and how is it going?
The support system has changed throughout the years. It's not always who you think it is
Yeah.
or should be. Family is not always your best supporters.
Right.
And over the past 2 years, I've actually hired some coaches and been in a few of the coaching teams.
Mm-hmm.
So that has been a really big support system, because it has other like-minded people in there. So they have been through the same things. They are positively supportive. Yes, all of us have different walks of life, but yeah, it's been a true asset, and I'm totally grateful for that community.
Mm-hmm.
I found them on Facebook, and I ended up going to a retreat in April and getting on board with that, and it has been a great boost of confidence and support. And it's people that I haven't even met personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I relate to you so well on that. I'm like you. I thought my no me. I thought my biggest cheerleaders would be my friends and my family, and it's okay. You do have to. It does make you know that it's okay that family's not. They don't understand your purpose and your passion, and you just have to move. You still keep them, and they play a different part in your life. But note that your tribe is outside of that, and not rely on, because I've heard so many women and it's really devastated them. And I've heard a couple women saying that they're not going to do their business if they don't have the support of their friends and families. And I really cringe on that, because this is your life and your dream, and to allow someone else to tuck it under, and so to speak. This is something I truly don't believe in. I believe we all have a purpose and a passion, and we need to move forward on it. We have a tribe, like here, we have a tribe. There's thousands of women, such as
Exactly.
Meghan, that if I can't figure it out, I can call any one of them and like, okay, I have somebody that needs your help. What
You
can
put
we
a post there, and then somebody calls to action. Yeah.
do? Right. So know that know that family and friends are not always your supportive, your cheerleading, your support system, but they're there. There is your tribe and your support system. We're one. And we just heard Megan, she's even connected to individuals on the on Facebook. And she's get to meet, and she hasn't met them face to face. I don't even know how many people that I have not met, but I have really vibed and
Like
gelled with.
yourself.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So Beverly is like, good stuff. She says a tribe. And a
Yes.
tribe is important. We as women do need a tribe. We are women of feelings, and we are women of emotion. So we do need that support. Just know It may not be your family. It may be, but sometimes it's not. And just be okay with it's not.
Right. To understand, yeah, it's friends, family. Like I had a therapist that told me one time, it's like you put a number on top of people's heads,
Yeah,
and that number describes the amount of information that you allow that person to have
that's
about
right.
yourself. And you may have friends, you may have family, and then you have allies.
Hmm.
Allies are totally different because they will give you the raw truth.
Yes. Those are the ones that you need to keep. As they say, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. Them are the ones really, because they'll tell you the truth of everything around. I agree with that so heartily. So let's change it up a little bit. So how did you even know your business, or how did your side hustle? How did you even know that? How did you even come about?
Which one are you talking about?
Well, I love that you studied marine biology. You had studied the science of marine, and then you also had did the minor in which I totally visual arts. I was like, visual arts. So how did you even but but as we're laughing, there's seriously some women like, I don't even know my purpose or my passion. I
Yeah.
don't even know how to even, so how did you even know?
I still don't think I really have a grasp on it, and yeah, I think that's one of my biggest problems is clarity, and
Mm,
that is a major thing in trying to find your passion. I know that creatively, the visual arts for me, it fills a need for myself,
yes.
and I know that other people can appreciate what I have to offer. So I'm very grateful for that, to bring light into other people's, worlds that way, especially during the pandemic, like sharing some of my photographs and artwork and stuff, and people not being able to get out. But the other side hustle, like I went to school for marine science because that's a passion of mine. I love the ocean. I live by the ocean right now. I liken myself to a mermaid, so I kind of need to be by the water. Um, but having the visual arts, just having that mix and that diversity, it's been an asset for sure.
Nice. I really like that. Like that you are. I mean, I was reading your bio, and I literally have. Here's your bio, and I have all the questions that I've been asking. So it's like I've been reading up on. I'm like, here you are, financial, in the finance industry, and then you're doing the graphics design. I was like, wow, that's why I was like, wow, I commend you. But it does. But I'm glad that you're out here. You're testing the waters on everything that feels good to you.
Right.
That feels good to your soul. And I want women to understand. Go out here and try it. What's the harm? Truthfully, what's the harm? What you don't know is what you don't know. But if you know, then you can move forward on it. That's how I live by.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I put in the bio is just like I form a lot of the stuff around me wanting to leave things better than how I found them. So
Yeah.
being that steward, and that being able to um, beautify or bring out, different beautiful aspects of the community, or make them better, enhancements, that kind of thing. So I focus a lot of my things about that, or helping others. So the finance stuff is kind of thrown at me because I was like you talked about, I had the marine science degree, and I was actually working as a contractor for the government in the oil field at that time. Was it? No, I was working for the oil field at that time whenever I got introduced to the finance thing. But my mom had passed, and she had passed without life insurance. So I had the brunt of all that financial burden on me as an adult. Yeah, yes, I was an adult, but it still stung quite a bit. And when I
Yeah.
got introduced to that opportunity, it was just like, okay, I can help other people not go through what I went through. It was a very tough pill to swallow. It's just like, I want to help these people. They
Right.
don't want to, not
Want
everybody wants to get help.
Exactly. And I know that's hard. It is true, because there is a lot of people, you're like, I can help you. Just give me five. And look, I'm always rationalizing. If you give me 5 minutes of your
Mm-hmm.
time, but they don't want to hear it. And then and that I agree with you. It is a tough pill to swallow, because like you can help somebody that 5 minutes time that can change, or their lives can pivot, but they don't want it. So it's really hard. So before we're already halfway, it's been fun. It's gone by so fast. So we're halfway through. But before we stop here, what is one piece of advice that you would like to give and empower women around the world? What would you like to tell them?
You are worthy, whether you believe it or not. It's if you repeat that enough, you will start believing it. I can be an example for that, because the affirmations, I was just like, well, this is bogus. But waking up in the morning, just doing the affirmations, whatever it might be, as long as it's positive,
Yeah, exactly.
Because constantly we're taught like negative affirmations, right?
Right.
And then we get so used to that. But if we revert that, you pivot it to positive. It's just like, I am worthy. I'm a goddess. I'm a queen. I'm worthy. I'm enough. Stuff like that. It really doesn't help.
Oh my goodness, it does. It brightens your day. Well, everybody, look, she has been dropping nuggets. So she has told you how she was. Beverly says, I am worthy. We are all worthy. But
Yes.
the positive affirmations are so needed. But I wanted everybody to see, I hope you guys have been grab your pen and paper, look, I have my beverage. No, now you guys know normally at this time of the day, evening, my beverage is gone, but not today. I do have mine beverage here. So I do want you all to know, I hope, look, see, Meghan has hers. So I hope you guys have been grab your pen and paper, because she has dropped some mini nuggets on, we're all sitting at a space. And sometimes we're sitting there thinking, could I do more? And how do I do more? And Meghan has dropped on how she's done more. And even though she has faced fear, we've all faced fear, but how did she get past it? And how do you get past it? It's so important, so you can go after your what's next. We all stumble. We heard our stumbling, but we still got back up. And guess what? Meghan is still looking for her purpose. She's still there, but she's still going after it. And I want you to know that don't stop. Don't stop because of the I can'ts and the what ifs, because those will stop you, as I said before. So real quick, before we go and doing some a little bit fun and shift it a little bit, I want everyone to understand that today's show is sponsored by Vision Made Magazine. It is a quarterly woman empowerment magazine that, yes, you can find it in paper as well as you can do it electronically. It is all about empowering, inspiring you to get to your what's next. How? By conquering your what ifs and I can'ts. In the magazine, there is an article about a small business woman spotlight. There are power words, vision boards. You all know me. I am so on power boards. I'm one. I promise you. Actually, I'm saying next, but in this month, we are going to do a vision board so we can get ready for the last quarter of this year. If you're interested in joining me here to do a vision board session real quick, it won't be the big one, but it will be a small one. Drop it in the feed. I will start promoting it. I want us to get our vision boards together so we can be in line and ready for our goals for the rest of this year. Today is Win Wednesday. What is your win for this week? You'll get to hear ours, but I'm going to hear what your win is. Drop it in the feed below and let us know what your win is. I love celebrating. You guys know I love the celebrating party. I wish I had some streamers, but my grandkids took them, so we won't have that today. We'll have to get some more. I'm going to have to hide them from my grandson, but I definitely will get some streamers. But I love celebrating you all. And what perfect way to celebrate you is, did you get your goal this week? Set your goal for this week? If not, okay, it's still time. It's Wednesday. You guys can still set your goal for this week. If you need help on setting a goal, drop it in the feed. I definitely can help you. If you don't even know where to start, or you even just want to talk about, I have an idea, but I don't even know where to start, we can do a quick chat on how to get you moving, because again, we still have time to make 2021 an amazing year for you, and an empowering year. And you have support and you have your tribe here for you. So if you have any questions, as we get ready to wrap up today's amazing episode, drop it in the feed. If we don't get to it right now during the show, we definitely still will answer you. So please do not think we will ignore. We don't. I will definitely pass it on. If it's not for me, I definitely will pass it along to Meghan. Meghan has an amazing, since she didn't talk about, I'll read her bio to you all in a few minutes because she didn't do what I thought she would do, but that's okay. I have it here, you guys, so I will read it for you in just a little bit. So with that, Meghan, so as you talk, I love that you do the affirmations, and I love that I'm worthy. I love that, and you rock on that because so many women miss that piece. So many women miss the affirmation. So I'm glad to hear that you do the affirmations. On that note, do you have a power word for 2021? And if so, what's your power word?
I do actually. I was thinking about that whenever you were bringing that up. So I learned about that last year about having a word for each of the year, and this year for 2021 is awakening.
Ooh, and why awakening?
Because I want to continue to self-grow, to learn. So last year was self. So that was focusing, getting myself, putting my own oxygen mask on first, and taking care of me so I can be a better version of myself. And then this year was awakening or awakened. Yeah.
I like that. I love that. I love it. So last year for me was unstoppable. This year is epic. And the reason being is unstoppable because I was so worried about everybody and everybody's views and opinions of me that I allowed that to stop me a little bit. Not as much as I did a couple years ago, but a little bit. And I really had to break away from that and step out of my shell. And I realized now, you know what? It's all about me. And the only way it's going to be about me is I have to be epic. So I can continue to empower women around the world. So that is my word for this year, 2021 is epic. Beverly said epic. Yes. Epic is an amazing word, ladies. So I would love to hear everybody else's power word for this year. Drop it in the feed. No word is right and no word is wrong. We're all here to empower and inspire you. As you talked earlier in our show, you had talked about doing some self-care. Do you have a specific day that you do self-care, as well as what is one of your self-care routines?
So I would say it would be almost every day for the self-care. A lot of times I go out to the beach for sunrise and at least, walk 20 minutes on the beach as often as I can. Like I said, with the me mornings. So last year when I had self, I would get up around sunrise, so around 6, and then I would not answer emails, get on Facebook or anything until after 10 a.m.
Nice. I
So I
love
would take care of the dogs, I'd take care of me, that kind of thing. So me mornings. It's changed up a little bit now that I started working back in corporate more, and but I still have something in the mornings for me, and so that's self-care. But yeah, it changes day to day, but a lot of it has to do with nature.
Yeah, I love that. That's so cool that you connect to nature, bring peace back, bring peace and be centered. Now, you had talked about you have read a book. Look, I had to write my notes. So one you have just finished your sixth book at, for August, which is the fourth arrangement. What is that about?
The Four Agreements.
Four
Yeah.
agreements.
So it talks about, it's a really quick book. I do a lot of audiobooks, so
Me
that's
too.
how I'm able to do the
Me
six.
too. Me too. Don't laugh at me
Um,
too.
yeah, talks about, I can't remember them, all of them offhand, but one of them is don't take it personally, don't assume, always do your best. I guess I do remember them. And then I just finished it yesterday, but the first one, I can't remember offhand what it was, but it like how you learn and judge yourself growing up and how to get rid of the what they call the judge and the victim
Yeah.
mentality, and different ways of letting that type of life go.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so it was a lot different than what I expected, but a lot of things I've learned over the last year is not really to expect stuff.
Right,
Just kind
right.
of be open to receive things as they are and appreciate them however they come.
So true. I so agree with you. I see you've said the favorite book, and I read this. I don't know how many times I read The
Yes.
Alchemist. I read
Yes.
that twice. And one day, the second time, I read it in the one day. I was like, this is really good.
Yes.
That was my favorite book too.
Yeah.
I really connected to it. I was surprised. Honestly, was surprised about it.
Yeah. My on my Facebook, on my profile, it has the one of the things, the quotes from it is like, I
Yes.
love you because the entire universe conspired to help me find you. And no
Oh,
matter what type of love that is, it's obviously the universe has conspired to help me find you and whoever's listening on this podcast. So,
right. I love it. I love it. So as you just said on your Facebook. So how can people find you and follow you?
obviously, I'm on Facebook, Megan Holder, and the Instagram is Megan A Holder. I have a few different Instagrams based on my different pursuits.
I
So,
understand. I definitely will put them in the notes so you guys can follow Megan. She is, as you guys hear, she has done some amazing things. And one thing that she hasn't talked
thank
about,
you.
you guys, what we're going to talk about is her podcast. And so it's really, actually talked a little bit about it, but I believe in empowering women. So tell everybody a little bit about your podcast and how they can catch the episodes and how they can connect and follow you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you. And I was going to bring something else about that too, because one of my guests that I had the other day was talking about vision boards, but she does. Sorry, one of my dogs is whining. She does a vision room. Like she does her whole living area as a vision room.
I love
So you're
it.
constantly like you're
Yes,
surrounded by it.
that's
So she's a feng shui designer, and she helps
ooh,
clients that way. But yeah, my podcast is called Pivot 180 Weekly Boost. Pivot, obviously, because how you pivot struggles into making something positive. 180 because you actually turn it around and not go all the way back to where you started. So you don't want to do a 360. And then we air it once a week in the middle of the week around lunchtime, just to give you that little extra boost to help you keep going in the week on 11 a.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. Is when we air.
and where can they hear it?
So right now we are on Facebook. It's called Pivot 180 Weekly Boost. It's a page and group on Facebook, and it's been going on a little bit over a year, since May of 2020, and all episodes are still there.
Cool. So I will definitely drop in the feed so you guys can go out. I truly believe in supporting each other, and what a
Thank
way
you.
to connect and support Megan is going to her podcast, because I definitely am. So why aren't you? I don't understand that. So before we wrap this up, Megan, what has been your win for this week?
Oh, this week. Actually getting out and about. We talked a little bit before, just getting over COVID. So my win is getting out into the living realm again.
I so agree with you.
So
So
thank you for it.
I understand. So you guys, look, the show is almost over and it has gone by so fast. So this is, again, my co-host has been amazing, as all of them. Not even surprised at all. But you guys, if you need to connect to, or if you want to connect to Megan, I will definitely have it in the feed. I'll drop it in before this evening, so you guys can definitely. I promise. I'll drop it in the feed before I lay my head down. I will definitely do that, and I'll also drop in the feed how you guys can follow her podcast. Let's support each other. Listen to it, and let's empower each other to go after our what's next, no matter what. So my win for this week is, oh, I have so many of them. I would have to say the magazine. The magazine is starting to take on its own amazingly life itself. One thing that's coming out of the magazine now, if you're interested in becoming a brand ambassador for Vision Made magazine, it comes with some perks, which we're really excited to offer some perks with it. So if you're interested in that, drop it in the feed. I definitely will be I will be connected to you. But I just wanted to let you know, Vision Made magazine, I'm so excited about it. So if anyone is sitting and wondering, well, what's my purpose and your passion? You have it in you. I never even thought I would, but you do have it in you. And if you need some help on talking talking about it or talking through it. And if you're not wanting me to talk to me, I'm okay with that. I just want you to go after it. But guess what? Meghan is here. I had all these other co-hosts behind me that has done it. So definitely let me know how we can help you get to your vision so your vision can be made like ours. So real quick, any last words before we end tonight's show?
Congratulations on the magazine. That is awesome, and I am totally in awe of all this, and I'm looking forward to also delving into that realm as well. One of the what was it? Oh, I can't remember the name of the author. Give me 1 second. I can look it up real quick. But she talks about how you see other people's successes and not to get envious, but to think of it as driftwood, as it passing by, and it's coming to you soon.
Oh, I love that. That is powerful.
Let me see
as she does that. So Beverly, no, don't worry.
Gabrielle Bernstein. Gabby Bernstein.
Oh, yeah. I love that. I love that. Love that. So note that. So Beverly, before we jump off, what is your win for the week? We see you've been dropping the nuggets, talking about I'm worthy, epic. Thank you for the congratulations. And you're interested, I'll definitely connect with you after this. But what is your win, Beverly? We would love to hear your win before we jump off of here. But you know what, everybody, as we wait for Beverly, hopefully, you guys, I want you to listen how amazing Meghan is, because I promise you guys, I want to understand that we all have so much going on that we miss our praises, and Meghan deserves a lot of praise. So here's a little of Meghan. I won't read it all, but for the past 3 years, I've collaborated with the county to organize a semi-annual beach cleanup in memory of her mother, Dawn's death in May. And in the second in October for her birthday, which I thought that was the most coolest thing ever. This has recently been established as a business called Clean Sweep St. Augustine, which is intended to reach further than the county limits. Girl, that's amazing. Amazing. Yeah, congratulations.
It's grown quite a bit more than what I anticipated. It's awesome.
That is awesome. So congratulations there.
Thank you.
Rock. So Beverly wrote, her win is confronting my fears of presenting. I totally get that. We can relate.
Congratulations, Beverly. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, ladies, I want to thank everybody who has stopped by, who's given us time, who has even sat down and grabbed your pen and paper and your nuggets. Meghan, you have been an amazing co-host. I was not even surprised at all. I knew you were going to rock it and knock it out the park. So thank you so much. Everyone, remember, catch her podcast. I'll drop it in the feed on how you can connect with her. So with that being said, everyone, I want everyone to understand that we only have one life to live, right? And so live it to your fullest and live your life, not anyone else's life. And know that you can do it no matter what. Yes, we all face the I can'ts. You heard you heard Meghan talk about her what ifs and I can't. But look where she's at now. She's out here still going after her purpose and passion, though she may not know it. And know that we all are doing that, and we all are facing those, but we don't let the fear hold us back, as we also talked about earlier in the podcast. If you're needing any help, know that it's not just here in your small community, it is here in this community here at What's Next for Women podcast. So I hope you all have enjoyed tonight's show. I did. I'm always thankful and blessed for all you taking your time, stopping by and chatting with us. Again, it's still Win Wednesday. Drop your wins in here as we are rooting for Beverly. Thank you. You rock for even telling us what your win is, and you're amazing, and you're going to do amazing things. Until next week, you guys, drop it in the feed. If there's something you want to hear us talk about, if you want to ask a question. Oh, and guess what, you guys? The podcast is getting ready to take a little pivot, but you'll have to catch it and follow us. And so you'll get to see what it's all about during the week. But until next time, you guys, take care of yourselves. Oh, and if no one has not told you guys rock and you're amazing. And we are so appreciative of you. Until next week, you guys, take care. Bye,
Thank you
everybody.
so much.
Thank you.